Hello everyone, welcome to the garden. It is a beautiful day. It is 2 weeks after my last garden tour and I thought you might enjoy seeing some of the growth. So the broccoli's getting a little bit taller. That's on the right hand side. Okay, no broccoli sprouts yet, but it's probably got about another 6 to 8 inches before the bigger ones will be ready to show me anything. The watermelon plants are starting to grow. That's a little bit of an experiment in this bed here since it gets so much spring shade, which is why I picked it for growing greens to keep it a little bit cooler. I found a volunteer tomato plant, so I planted it there, and a little pepper plant. All right, so my fence is falling. My fence to keep the dogs out. Okay, so this is my greens bed. The other day I planted even more seeds in here, went inside, put the seed packs away, came back out, and the birds were already in here digging holes and eating the seed. They just sit in these bushes right here and they wait for me. And they say, yes. And I left this off for maybe, I don't know, couldn't have been a half hour. Birds came through and wiped out my greens. They just love these tender greens. So I have the Swiss chard, 3 rows of Swiss chard here, the spinach here, lettuce greens here, and 2 volunteer tomato plants. So I don't keep all the volunteer tomato plants, but the ones that were growing in areas where I know there were heirlooms, like this last year had Brandywine and Black Krim heirlooms, so I'll keep those volunteers. All right, raised garden bed that has some pepper plants in there. I think these are sweet peppers. My apricot tree, one of 4. As you can see, the apricots are starting to get pretty big. There's quite a few of them in here. We got some more up in here. I can feel the weight. In there. A few more up in here. If you listen to the sound, you can hear the bees and the creosote trees. Maybe you can even see them. They are happy. These are about the friendliest bees you ever saw. They're hitting me in the head. I used to freak out over bees in New York because I got stung so many times, knock on wood. I haven't gotten stung in probably, my goodness, 15, 20 years. So I've learned to love the bees. Now, chase tree's getting bigger. It's up to my nose now. Leaves are coming in. Starting to get its strong smell, which, I don't know, I'm not too keen on, but it settles down after the strong growth phase and then it gets its purple flowers on it that the hummingbirds love. Apricot tree number 4 and a couple of pepper plants. You can see the birds are just nibbling away. We also had some pretty darn high winds this week, hitting 45, 50 miles per hour pretty consistently. So you can see the leaves have kind of curled and gotten beaten up on everything. So between the wind and the birds, but it's still going. Plenty of apricots. Just planted these trees last year, so I'm happy with any fruit that I get. It can sometimes take the second year, so that's good. Desert willow's growing. I still haven't transplanted the 2 little babies under there, but I plan on doing that this week. It's supposed to get pretty hot, so I may just put them in pots. Yep, the bird of paradise is starting to get some buds on it. This is a volunteer. It just kind of showed up here. Growing pretty quickly. It'll be nice. It'll shade this garden in the heat of the day in the summer, so that'll be good. All right, these are Chicago cold hardy figs. They were, oh my goodness, last fall they couldn't have been but 2-3 inches tall. So I'm pleased. Doesn't look like we'll get any figs on them this year, but still early, so maybe. You can see how much the strawberry plants have grown. Look at the size of these leaves. They're huge. Those are some happy strawberry plants. Lots of blooms. Pepper plant. If you look carefully, you can see there's plenty of strawberries on the plants. I guess goodies for the birds. So yeah, these are just beautiful. Beautiful. Blackberry bush is starting to come in. The other ones are really tiny. Another pepper plant. You can see some of my eggshells in there I put throughout to help with calcium uptake. Another cold hardy Chicago fig. I think this one had a fig on it. Yeah, this one has a couple little figs coming in on it, so that's good. Hopefully we have some fig wasps around to pollinate them. The figs have both male and female parts. The fig wasp crawls inside the end, pollinates it internally. It dies and the proteins in there convert it to something and makes it not a bug anymore. Another pepper plant. Got some onions growing back. So this is a black mission fig, and as you can see, it is huge. Look at these leaves. They're beautiful, they're big. Look at this. Look at how big that leaf is. Ah, they're beautiful. So you can see there's a couple of figs in there. I use the foil to hopefully keep the birds away. So I know there's a few more figs around there. I'm guessing this will probably get to be a good 5 foot tall this year. No, maybe 6 foot. Oh, I hear a hummingbird. I don't know where it went, but I heard it. And I believe these are black turkey figs. So they're coming in nicely. You can see the wind has kind of whipped these leaves up a bit. They're hanging in there. So tons and tons of strawberry plants. Just huge, dense plants. I love it. Gonna have some strawberries. A couple more weeks. Another pepper plant. There's one of the blackberry bushes hidden in there. I don't know. They're just not doing much. And as you can see, the peach tree has an abundance of peaches on it. I'm not sure if you can see. I'll try to get in there. There, you see all those. And of course, there's still some bees in there. Okay, here's I call this one number 4, but it's just another apricot tree. I know this one has a bunch on it. It's just hard to find when they're the same color as the leaves. But there's plenty in there. You can see the leaves are curled up from the wind beating on them. And there's some more. There's an eggplant over there. beating up pepper plants. Again, the birds and the wind just really hit these hard. All right, this is my tomato bed with a bazillion volunteer squash growing. I keep plucking them out. There's just a lot. So I had to put the netting over it because the birds were pecking away at the tomato plants. The wind's pretty hard on them too. Again, their leaves are kind of curled up, but they're about 6 inches tall now, and they're buried about 4 inches, 5 inches deep. They're taller than they look. You can plant tomato plants as deep as you want, which I do here. So I don't know what's going to happen with these 2 tomato plants. I just kind of tossed them in there. We'll see. But I have plenty growing around, so we won't starve. All right, that pomegranates. So the wonderful pomegranates are the taller ones. This one is about, I don't know, good 5 foot tall now. Another bird of paradise volunteer in there. And look, I have a bloom. Actually, 2 bloom buds on the pomegranate. Tiny, but considering it's early in the season, that's excellent. This is the Angel Fire pomegranate. It was tiny when I got it, so it's grown quite well. I'm hoping by this time next year it'll be up to my chin. And another wonderful, I don't see any blooms on it yet. It doesn't seem as stable. I might have to pack that in. The wind seems to have been pretty hard on it. And a quick look at my cacti garden. Yeah, I know, I live in the desert and I have a cactus garden, go figure. So these were cactus that a friend gave me. I think I've talked about this before. Some of them are like the thornless variety. They're getting some pads on them. And then the rabbit ears, so these are just different than that grows in our yard. Different is fun. And these are the ones, I can't remember what they're called. My friend can chime in if she wants. But they're cute and fuzzy, but oh, they're nasty to touch. And then these little paper white cactus. And then I guess these are yuccas. That's a cholla right there. Try to get you a nice close look. Look at all that growth on the cholla. I love cholla. I don't know why. I just do. They're super cool. And they bite. You get near them, you touch them, and they stick to you like Velcro. Ooh. And look at little babies in the bottom, so that one's doing well. More of the thornless variety. Lots of pads. So what I'm going to do this year is when the pads start to mature, I'm going to transplant them into containers, and as soon as they get roots, I'm going to put them out front. If I put them out front too soon, the rabbits eat them. So I need to have some growth going. You can see there's a cholla that a rat probably stole the top of. It's got 4 branches growing. Paperweight that doesn't look like it's going to live. Another cholla. Chollas are doing great. All right. Where to next? All right. Coming over here. Oh, nope, this way. Apricot tree number 4. I think this one has 1 apricot on it. Birds plucked all those off early, plus this one gets a lot of shade in the winter, so it may not ever be a heavy producer. I still have some tin foil around trying to keep the birds away. Planted some Thai basil, which I really like to cook with and make fresh garden salads with a dressing that I make, nice vinaigrette. The oleander that gets my summer water from the hose when it's too hot to water my delicate plants with. Here's a pear tree. These are supposed to be plum tree. These are supposed to be Hollywood purple plums. The leaves are supposed to be purple. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. They promised me they'll turn purple in the summer. We shall see. There's one plum. think there's two. Yeah, there's two. One there and one there. So I'm hoping I get something the first year. Dragon Alley, I did do some trimming on them, cut off the worst of the bad stuff from them sitting in storage. Got some new growth coming here, so that's good. I need to fertilize them with some compost tea. They love the compost tea. So yeah, I got some new branches coming in. No buds, but it's early. Yep, plenty of new branches coming in. So they're recovering nicely. Yep. That's actually a bloom bud right there. I think it's too early for that though. You never know. Branches. This one's not too happy. We'll see. Rat stole that plant. This one's getting some good growth on it. Lots of branches. I'm actually surprised these are getting branches because this plant does not look happy. They're pretty hardy though. Well, I do think that's it for the garden today. Overall, I'm pleased, even though I'm still contending with the birds wanting to eat everything. And the bees. Well, have a wonderful day.